Hi there, welcome to the Fierce Factor podcast. I'm your host, Kaylee Lindholm. And I think it's time for us women to shift the conversation in business and step into our feminine leadership to do the most iconic work the aesthetic industry has ever seen. Each week, I'll be bringing a powerful dose of strategy, sarcasm, solutions, and sass that will rev up your creativity and ignite your brilliance as you link arms with me along our shared path of personal and professional growth in 20 minutes or less. Let's go. Hello, leader. Welcome back to the Fierce Factor podcast. It's your host, Kaylee here. And you're tuning into episode number 273. And this week, I wanted to talk with you about a resource that is, in fact, central to the health of a business and the freedom and options that we are afforded in life, for that matter. And that resource is money. And if you're someone who cringes when you hear this word, well, listen, goddess, I've been there. Because I will share a story with you. I really didn't always have a super healthy relationship with money. I have had to work on my belief system about money as I've advanced in my business. I remember going to Tony Robbins' Business Mastery back in 2018, and he was having the entire room chant, "I love money and money loves me. I love money and money loves me." And I was just chanting this thing, and I was like in my head, well, I do love money, but I don't really think money loves me that much because ever since I started making it, I had a really hard time keeping it around. And it wasn't until I coached through this issue that I realized I didn't actually have a money problem. I had a worthiness problem. Subconsciously, I didn't believe I had what it took to be a good custodian of an abundant amount of it. And if you want to talk more about money mindset, be sure to head back and check out a past episode I recorded about this specifically, episode number 239, Building a Confident Money Mindset. So where did this come from? Well, back when I was a teenager, my parents bought me my first car, my dream car, by the way, a used cherry red Volkswagen Cabriolet convertible. It was detailed with a white top and cow print seat covers. It was absolutely my dream car. And, like many fantasies in life, this one was also too good to be true. When 2 weeks into driving it, the transmission went out and I had to take out a $2,500 loan to replace it. I was a student athlete and I got a part-time job 2 nights a week at a local fast food restaurant to help pay the loan. But ultimately, this began my decade-long struggle with debt. When I went to college, I took out a credit card to help pay for groceries and gas and life, really. And of course, I had terrible credit and paid high interest rates and found myself in a hole I couldn't dig out of until I graduated. When I landed my first sales job after college, I eventually was able to pay off a big sum of debt. And I never accumulated debt again, but I had internally labeled myself as someone who was not, quote unquote, good with money. And so building a growing business has really challenged me to lean into my perception of the role of money in my life, and also the way I manage it, understand it, and allow it to multiply through investing. And over the past few years, this exploration has allowed me to build strong cash reserves that has afforded me the opportunity to take really bold risks in my business, such as recruiting strategic talent, doubling down on marketing and brand visibility, and independently funding big upfront expenses like alt, experience, and other costly programs. And I've learned that having deep cash reserves makes business leaders more willing to innovate and compete because they feel like they can. And as I reflect back, perhaps the struggle I had in my teens became the catalyst for my insatiable desire to learn how to open myself up to attract financial abundance. But the truth is, the money game takes not just the attraction of money, right? And the manifestation of it, but it's really all about offense and defense. I've personally worked with women running businesses earning $3-4 million annual sales, but taking home less than they did when they had a job. It really doesn't matter how much you make if you don't have a strategy for keeping it. And that's where your money team comes in. I'm often asked in coaching calls about how to structure financial advisory. So I thought it could be helpful to share with you here how I have structured what I call my money team, who you will need on your money team, and at what stage I think it's appropriate to hire each of these individuals. Now, before I introduce the experts, I want to quickly touch on the metrics you absolutely need to be tracking to make sure that your business is operating sustainably. As the leader of your business, it is critical that you understand the basic financial health metrics of your business. The number one reason businesses fail is that they run out of cash. So I want to make sure that this does not happen to you. The first number you need to know every single month is how much money your business earns. This comes from sales. It's pretty shocking how many business owners I talk to who have no idea how much they generated the month prior. This number, also called revenue, or some people will call it your top line. This is the baseline to help you know how much money you have to spend on the second metric, which is expenses. So this will include everything your business invests in over that month period, from your rent or lease payment to insurance, to payroll, to inventory, to technology. If you spend more than you make, you end up with negative cash flow. That brings us to the third vital metric, which is profit. This is where the magic is. Profit is what's left over at the end of the month. So if your business generates $100,000 in sales and your expenses total $80,000 for that month, then you'll be left with $20,000 in profit. Profit, also known as income, is what you can use to reinvest back into growth, hire new team members, acquire new technology, or invest in the stock market or real estate. As you can imagine, the higher this third number is, the healthier the business and the more freedom and options you will have as a business owner. And truth be told, until you have a strong command over how to generate profit, the top line number can really be more of a distraction, because I have clients who generate $1 million annually and take home $500,000 income. And then I also have business owners who generate $3 million a year annually and also take home $500,000 in income. That means one of them has to run 3 times the operation to keep up at the same pace. That's why I say that offense is important, but defense is also key. I am personally a visionary risk taker. I love making money and I love spending money. Because of that, I've put resources in place to be my defensive all-stars, meaning I have a team of people whose job it is to make sure that I have the money that is left over in profit every year going into the right places. So let's talk about who you need on your money team to help ensure that you are optimally earning, spending, saving, and investing. Money team member number 1 is your bookkeeper. This individual is responsible for maintaining and recording your company's financial transactions. So their main functions will include tracking sales, purchases, receipts, and payments accurately. They're going to be keeping organized records of all the financial documents, such as invoices, receipts, and bank statements. They're ensuring that the company's financial records match bank statements through regular reconciliation. They are going to be paying bills on time and recording customer payments. They will be preparing basic reports like income statements and balance sheets to help you understand the financial health of the business each month. And they'll sometimes handle employee payroll and related tax deductions, depending on your bookkeeper and how you have their contract set up. And then they're going to provide the necessary financial information for tax filing purposes. So overall, the bookkeeper helps to make sure that all your financial data is accurate. They help in financial decision-making and maintaining compliance with tax laws. So my bookkeeper personally is a 1099 contractor who works 5 to 8 hours per month. Her KRAs are to keep my QuickBooks totally up to date, organize and appropriately categorize all transactions, alert me of anything out of the ordinary, and she provides me a detailed monthly report of the month-over-month results in each major category of spending. So on my monthly financial report, she will show me a line item such as marketing as an example, and it will look like this. Marketing is up by $8,000. And then next to it, there'd be an explanation of why. So it might say in the comment section, increased ads budget. I can look at last month versus this month and the reason why those numbers are up or down. I also have her track my month over month growth percentage and my monthly profitability. This is something important for me to measure because we have a set profit goal in my company. So when profit is down, this sounds a little alarm to make sure that it's because I've made strategic investments that will yield a greater return in months to come and not because I erroneously overspent. I recommend a business owner hire a bookkeeper the day they start their company. They can usually be contracted just for the minimum hours they work, and this will get you started in the habit of keeping really good oversight of your financial cash flow from day one. The next member of your money team is going to be your CPA or your accountant. The role of an accountant is to secure the company's financial records and ensure accurate financial reporting to the government, essentially to make sure you pay the government its legal fair share. Their main responsibility includes tax preparation and compliance, so they're calculating taxes owed, preparing tax filings, and ensuring you have adhered to tax laws and regulations. And that's basically it. I look to my accountant to stay informed and updated on constantly changing state and federal laws around tax filing to make sure that my company and its entities are reporting properly so that we don't get in trouble with the law. And they will make projections based on last year's filing to suggest quarterly payments that will be owed so that I can save quarterly payments appropriately and not be blindsided by a large payment or penalty for not paying correctly. The next member of your money team is going to be your CFO. The job of a CFO or a chief financial officer in a small company is to oversee the company's financial strategy and ensure its financial health and growth. So their main responsibilities include developing long-term financial plans, budgets, and forecasts to support the company's goals. They're going to be monitoring cash flow, managing capital structure, and ensuring that your company has adequate funding for operations and growth. They're going to have the foresight to identify financial risks and implement strategies to mitigate them. They're going to be ensuring accurate financial reporting, adherence to accounting standards, and compliance with tax laws and regulations. And they're going to be securing financing, managing investor relations, and evaluating investment opportunities for you. They're also going to be analyzing expenses and revenue to improve profitability and operational efficiency. And they'll be advising on business development, acquisitions, or strategic partnerships. So a simple way I understand the difference between a CPA and a CFO is kind of paying backwards versus planning forward. So a CPA looks at what was earned and then reports those earnings to the government, calculates what you owe, and then sends you a bill. And a CFO helps you make real-time decisions in your company, prepare budgets, ensure your company is making strategic moves to stay profitable and or to hit your growth goals. And as a small business founder, you will be your own CFO for quite some time. I highly recommend you learn the basics of financial literacy and implement basic systems to build your financial confidence in your business. This is key. You do not want to be a passive participant in the decisions that are being made that impact the health of your business. I cannot emphasize that enough. It is not challenging. Trust me. If you are ambitious enough to listen to this podcast, I promise you a simple tutorial. It can help you just understand the basics. And if you just spend the time to try to get in there, I'm telling you, I did it myself. I do love money and money loves me. It just took me some time to allow myself and instill that confidence in myself to say, I don't know all of this yet, but I'm going to learn this and I can. That being said, when you work with us at KLC, we will recommend the right time to bring on a CFO, which in most cases starts with someone who can support you fractionally or as a contractor. And here are some of the indicators that it might be time for a CFO. When your financial complexity increases, so maybe you're starting to seek outside funding, managing large projects, or planning significant growth. If you're lacking strategic financial leadership or knowledge to make informed decisions in your business, maybe your growth has outpaced your internal expertise and a dedicated financial leader is needed to oversee financial strategy and risk management. Or maybe you have a team of 5 to 7 people and multiple providers, and you need help running more advanced analytics to understand their productivity and opportunities for growth. Essentially, a CFO will work to pull the data from your EMR and a profit and loss statement to bring reports to you that demonstrate the internal picture of your operational efficiency. Hey, leader, I know the journey to building your greatest potential can feel overwhelming. You're setting big goals, navigating resistance, and trying to stay true to who you are in the process. That's exactly why I created the Fierce Factor Society. This isn't just another membership, it's a launch pad where ambitious women like us come together to grow, lead, and thrive. It's a space to take those big dreams and make them real step by step with the support and tools you need to succeed. If you've ever felt like you were made for more but didn't know exactly which step to take next, the Society is your space to access the tools, strategies, and support to unlock your next level of leadership. Let's do this together. Visit klcconsultants.com/Fierce Factor Society to learn more. Can't wait to see you there. The next individual you'll need on your money team is a tax strategist. Here's the thing. We're delighted to pay taxes for the services they provide to our country. Police, fire, safety, don't get me wrong, but we don't want to overpay taxes because we haven't properly prepared a plan to maximize tax benefits afforded to us as small business owners. So this is where a tax strategist comes in. They're going to help you analyze the business's financial situation to plan for future growth. They're going to identify tax saving opportunities, credits, deductions beyond the standard filing. They're going to advise you on the timing of income and expenses to optimize tax outcomes. So for an example, something we implemented this year in my business was it made more sense for us to save the quarterly tax filings and put them into an investment account to yield interest to then pay those quarterly payments at the end of the year. That is a tax strategist who helps us run those numbers to look at, is there a better financial upside for you to allocate and invest money in different areas for a temporary or like a long amount of time? That's where they can help you. They are involved in planning for major transactions like acquisitions, sales, or investments. So unlike our CPA, they are strategic, they're forward-looking, they're focused on minimizing taxes year-round, not just preparing the taxes. As you advance in earnings, you will absolutely need to bring in a tax strategist to help you plan ahead for how to structure your business and personal assets to best support your financial defense, if you will. The next money team member will be your wealth advisor. So this is someone who I have leaned on heavily in the past 2 years as building a wealth portfolio has become more of a focal point for me. Because making a personal income from your business is the first goal. Investing it to earn interest and make little money babies, as some would call it, should be the next goal. Essentially, a wealth advisor provides personalized financial guidance aimed at growing, protecting, and transferring wealth. So their main function in your money ecosystem includes developing comprehensive strategies that align personal and business financial goals, including retirement planning, estate planning, and protection of assets, advising on investments to grow wealth, diversify portfolios, and manage risks. They might suggest strategies to minimize taxes and efficiently structure income and assets. They're going to help you create plans for retirement savings and preparing for business or estate successions to ensure wealth transfer to whoever's coming behind you, your heirs or successors. They're going to help evaluate insurance needs, so life, disability, business insurance to protect assets and income. And they might advise on the sale or transfer of your business, valuation, and related estate strategies to maximize value and minimize tax burdens. They're going to help prioritize spending, saving, and investing, and the timing of all of that to both support personal and business objectives. So I see my wealth advisor as a financial partner who helps balance the growth of my business with my personal wealth goals. So we will talk about how much to invest in stocks, treasury bonds, real estate, etc., to maximize earning potential with safe investments. Part of this earmarking cash will be that we put away stuff for a long time to earn high yield interest. And then we also talk about what might need to be easily accessible or liquid for me to access when I choose to make investments in other capital or resources to support the business. For example, that would be my tax payments at the end of the year on something that is a little bit more liquid for me to be able to pull out. Or maybe in a year I'm planning, I want to invest in real estate, or I know I'm going to be making a big investment in a new team member and I want to have that cash available for that. So they're going to help prepare and decide on strategies for investing that are going to support those goals. Next up on your money mastery team is a real estate asset consultant. So if you've ever wondered if it makes more sense to lease or build out, most founders I meet make these decisions kind of impulsively. A real estate asset consultant helps small businesses optimize its real estate assets, whether that involves acquiring new properties, leasing, or enhancing existing properties. So these are all aimed at supporting the business's growth, efficiency, and financial performance. So this individual will help with assessing your current property or properties owned or leased to determine their value, sustainability, and potential for growth optimization. They're going to help you find, evaluate, and negotiate the purchase or lease of a new property that aligns with the business's operational needs and growth plans. They're going to help advise on lease terms, renegotiations, renewals, or expansions to secure favorable conditions. They're going to be on your team to help you do that. They will help analyze the existing real estate portfolio to identify opportunities for consolidation, sale, or reinvestment to maximize value and reduce costs. They're going to help estimate and manage real estate related expenses, including taxes, insurance, maintenance, and utilities. So again, other sort of tax stuff where you can pass through some of your expenses when you have a real estate asset that might even be its own business. They're going to guide you through construction, renovation, or site improvements to increase property value or adapt the space for other business needs. And they're going to provide insights into local real estate trends and future forecasts to inform investment decisions. This person is just a really great partner to say, hey, let's use real estate as a wealth building asset for you. And let's run these complex financials to really understand what is best for you based on what your goals are. And finally, if your business has reached a significant revenue level, if you're at 10 million annually, or you require complex financial management to oversee multiple revenue streams, financial forecasting, expansions, acquisitions, you might hire a full-time controller whose role would be to oversee the company's accounting and financial reporting functions, including financial management and oversight, accounting supervision, financial analysis, regulatory compliance, cash flow management. You love all this. Strategic planning for scaling, expansion, acquisitions. This is fun, ladies. This is fun. Okay. But listen, if you're like, okay, Kaylee, this is like so much. I get it. And I only have this knowledge to bring to you, or experience even. I wouldn't even call it knowledge. It's just stuff I've gathered along the way because I've had a business for 10 years and I've had to learn as I've grown. If you're not sure where to begin, you just want some Money 101 education to help you create a very clean, clear, easy to implement system for tracking and measuring your finances, then I can help you. And I have a special opportunity for you. In just a few weeks, we're going to be kicking off KLC Summer School. This is one of our most in-demand programs and is back this summer by very popular demand. If you're feeling a little uneasy about the season, this is for you. Here's what I'm seeing. Most business owners are like, I'm scared about the economy. I'm scared about all the things that are going on. I have so much uncertainty, politics, the summer, the season, all of the things. So most business owners are just sitting there kind of waiting until their business is like practically on fire before they do anything. And I'm telling you right now, that's not the play. Your clients aren't broke. They're just being a little bit pickier about where they're spending money right now. And guess what? They're watching exactly how you show up during times like this. So while everyone else is panicking and throwing discount after discount at the wall, hoping something sticks, the CEOs who are going to absolutely dominate are using this moment to get their house in order. They're sharpening their message. They're tightening their systems. They're building the kind of foundation that doesn't shake when things get bumpy. P.S. Later, this is what creates a season-proof business. The next 18 months are going to separate real leaders from the ones who just got lucky during boom times. Even if summer is slow, you're on vacation, or your clients are sitting out a treatment, I'm telling you, we have what you need to keep the pencil sharp and build the foundation to catapult momentum through the year end. We're doing classes that start July 11th through August. Topics like mastering on-camera confidence. Why is that important? Because AI is here and everybody is going to have access to AI tools. I'm telling you, how you're going to stand out in this next 12 months is going to be all about video. It's all about connection, all about standing out. We're going to be teaching inventory management and control, how to create a white glove client experience and elevate your guest service standards in your practice. We're going to be talking about marketing mastery, building your next authentic trust building campaign, prioritizing like a pro, turning your to-do list into momentum, how to create systems, SOPs. If you're like, I don't know how to do this, come to this session. Goal deconstruction, transforming employees into entrepreneurs, how to break down a big goal into actionable steps for them. And Finance 101, we talked about building clarity, confidence, and cash flow. And then I'm going to be talking about the foundations of building a life first business. and so much more, you guys. We are limiting each class to 20 participants. So don't wait on this. If these sessions sound interesting to you, you can sign up for one or two or all of them. There's a whole promotion for signing up for the whole summer. You can come, you can send your team, but you don't want to miss this. You can sign up at klcconsultants.com/summer school. Okay, leader, I hope this has been a helpful episode and it gets you thinking about how to optimally resource yourself and your business with both offense and defense on your money team. Thank you for tuning in today. I hope to see you in summer school in just a couple of weeks. And of course, I will chat with you here on the Fierce Factor podcast. Same place, same time next week. Listen, leader, if you're vibing with me here, hang tight because I have a brand new resource for you. You are a successful, confident, powerful woman who just isn't into being average. No, you have a calling, and part of that calling is requiring you to level up. And I know that if you're working across the next $1 million milestone in your business, you need to be in the right circles. And perhaps that's why you found us. I'd love to invite you to join The Blueprint, a weekly resource for inspired, provocative thinkers who are taking this conversation to the next level. Get access to free business tools, podcast supplements, guideposts, and direct communication with me and my expert team. And of course, a masterfully curated circle of women making big moves and disrupting the status quo in aesthetics and wellness. You can link directly through the show notes or head to klcconsultants.com/blueprint. It's time to elevate. See you there, goddess.